Welcome to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast, where we explore the fundamental abilities and insights that make us better humans. Here's your host, Christina Eanes.
Hi, everyone. Christina Eanes here. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Essential Skills for Humaning. And I have with me my co-host, Lori Muhlstein.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's staying warm and dry.
Love it. So what is our topic for today?
Well, our topic for today is your energy is the message.
Ooh.
And I will tell you what got me thinking about this. It was an article, actually, that you sent me.
Mm.
And so I have to give credit where credit is due. And you knew, though, as a communications nerd that I am, I would really enjoy this topic. And it was from a Forbes online article, which is a new leadership communication skill is emerging in the workplace. And it's all about how our energy helps to frame our messages and how we deliver our messages. And it's centered around leadership in particular. And it got me to think about, people hear what leaders say, we see what leaders do, but we also pick up on the energy that people have. Right?
Yeah.
We talked about the nonverbals,
Yes.
the tone, the pace, the volume. That all is related to the energy that we have coming in. And it really started, I really started thinking about how that's so true. If you're in a meeting, for example, and somebody comes in who's really upbeat and, it's Christina Eanes, she's coming in early morning, ready to, tackle the day, people are going to pick that up.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to maybe Lori coming in at 6:00 in the morning, needing coffee, normally a very high energy person, but this time not so much. People pick up on that energy. We really reflect
Absolutely.
the energy of the people around us. And I love the way that was presented and how that really is something we need to think about, the energy that we give out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to really explore that a little bit.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it.
And I love because a lot of people, they're like, not a lot, I'm making assumptions. In my experience, people are like, energy? What are you talking about? Right. But yeah. And body language, right? So energy comes out in body language and facial expressions. And people are like, well, I haven't had training on that. But just being human, just being, an animal, we are picking up on it, whether we know it or not. And we're giving it out, whether we know it or not. And people are picking up on it, whether we think we're hiding it or not, like if we're upset about something. So just awareness of this is, I say, life-changing.
Yeah, totally life-changing. And like you said, people think, energy, what's that? I have a friend who's really into energy medicine and things like that. And there's a lot of good results and there's a lot of articles out there around how our energy really affects our health, our mindset, how we relate to people. You picked up on some energy a little bit ago, but it's all related and it all really has an impact on relationships and how productive we can be and how effective can our teams be given the energy that the leader may give off as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And I really thought about some of the classes that we teach too, and how this all fits in. I mean, it all fits into like building self-awareness. I mean, that's totally it. What you just said, being aware of our energy and the impact that it has on other people. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share one of my infamous stories. I don't know if they're infamous anymore, but this is a really good example. I once had a boss who everything was urgent. There was always a fire. I don't know anybody out there if you can relate to this, but this was, every request was a 5-alarm fire. I mean, it was almost to the point of being manic.
Mm-hmm.
She would even start out a staff meeting early in the morning with, the old thing of her hair on fire and just couldn't get herself together. So her energy was really manic, was really frantic. And we all picked up on that, right? And that was a real source of stress. And so one day she decided she was going to give me a project, and it clearly wasn't in my, I hate this term, wheelhouse, but for lack of a better word, it wasn't in my area of expertise. And instead of framing this as it was a stretch opportunity or something that was going to be good for my development, she just said, "We need to get this done. You're smart. Figure it out."
Wow.
Drop the mic.
Wow.
Yeah. Drop the mic. And so it felt like I had to say to myself, is she complimenting me because I'm smart and I can figure it out? Or is it, one of those things where I'm being set up?
Yeah.
Right? Am I being set up for, stress and pressure? And it was. I took it that way because just of the way that it was delivered, just of the way that, it was just thrown at me. And yes, I figured it out. Yes, I got it done, but it didn't feel good.
Yeah. Well, right? I can almost imagine too, sitting at that meeting, her energy, well, we know emotions are contagious, right? Mm-hmm. So just being near her, some people are starting to get anxious and stressed out, as well as others are probably being repelled from that energy. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And so, like I said, it didn't feel good. When we are productive and we get something done, you like to say, I got that done. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, it was just, I got this off my plate and I got her off my back right now.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how energy can really impact you. Impact the effectiveness of our teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So awareness, the first step, right? I can see our internal state really impacts our external projections, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we talk about this too in the feedback course. If you have in your head, if you are thinking, I got to talk to this person, it's not going to change anything, I don't like them, all of that is going to leak out in your micro expressions, in your body language. They're going to sense how you're feeling. Yeah. So I guess the first step is awareness of that and getting ourselves to a place, because it's going to leak out. It's going to show, getting ourselves in a place that we can have the impact that we intend to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And awareness is definitely something that we talk about in, I think, every single class.
Yeah.
Because we are human, which is the subject of another podcast.
The one that we just released a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Released. Yet it's so important because we teach, these are things that are skills that are not, do this and you get that result, right? We're teaching humaning skills. Mm-hmm. And so it depends on the ability to build those skills, depends on our ability to be aware of what we're doing and what we need to change.
Yeah. Right? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so the energy and the framing of it, and we talked about the nonverbals, is so important. When we teach speaking up under pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pressure can be that energy that this boss I related with, is manic. It's everything's on fire, call out the guard, call everybody out. So we can do that, but that doesn't show confidence. It doesn't show, people that we can do this. There are going to be some obstacles. There's going to be things support. We can do it together. So it's being aware of our audience. It's being aware of the words that we use. It's being aware of our body language. It's hard work, but if we do it, we can be better at it. We can have a more confident energy that we're being, is showing others. So
exactly. Yeah. For some reason, when you're talking about the boss, I'm thinking about Chicken Little. The story of Chicken Little, for those that aren't familiar with it, right? This, I don't need to tell the whole story, but this chicken decided that the sky was falling. And so they ran around frantically to the farmyard, telling everyone the sky is falling, and got people freaking out. Right? Yep. It's energy, emotions are contagious, right? And you mentioned our class on speaking up under pressure. And I was also thinking about our presentation skills class on how we used to go through the section on body language and gestures was a lot more extensive. And then we pulled it back because if you're thinking about, I need to be holding this gesture and I need to move this way and I need to do this and that. Instead, like we're talking about, if you get the internal environment squared away, it's going to naturally come out through your energy, through your example. So like if you decide it's okay if I'm a little nervous, you show up confident, you are engaging in a conversation with the audience rather than presenting information to them, your body is naturally going to ease up. You won't have as much of that Chicken Little energy, we'll call it, right? And the audience is going to respond to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talk about how do we manage our anxiety, right? Like take a breath, take a walk, those kinds of things to calm it down, to really take the anxiety down so that it comes across more confident, because a little bit of nerves is great.
Absolutely. It's our body getting ready to perform. Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of that, and you mentioned something a little earlier, I also thought about the energy that I give out. So then I started getting more internal. And I think people think of me as a very high energy person. I think you once called me like the Energizer Bunny. Or do you remember the time when I met one of our clients? We had met just online or whatever. And I met them for the first time in person. And they said, "Oh my gosh, Lori, I thought you were taller."
Yeah.
So it's the energy that I gave out was this big,
you got tall girl energy.
Yeah, right. I have tall girl energy. It's this big personality. And I think about how does that fall to some people, right? Because some people may really like that and get a lot out of it. And some people may be a little turned off by it. Yeah. So that's also a matter of reading the room.
Yes.
Of being able to see how it's landing for people. And what do I need to do to pull it back a little bit if I need to? Or, whatever. Like this boss, her self-awareness was not, Chicken Little, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was not aware of the energy she was putting out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I like your point on reading energy too. And actually we train presenters and facilitators to do that, right? To be able to read the room, notice the energy. Are people nodding off? Does it just feel like blah in the room? How do we change that energy? Do we notice how people are responding? Like if we come up and we're like, and people are repelled, okay, let me tone it down a little bit. Let me get a little more calm. Or, wow, this room needs some energy in it. Let me get people up and moving around. Right. So noticing is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of like speaking successfully under pressure, like what improv does too. You know, if you can read the room, then you can make a decision to change the energy on the fly by doing that and being more successful at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I mean, it has so many applications. Like for some reason, what popped into my head, I can't remember where I was, but there was a woman who came up to me really fast and started talking fast. And I was really chill in that moment. So I was like, whoa. Right. So I don't know. It's just even everyday interactions, noticing how do we approach someone? How are they responding to that approach? Do we need to talk slower? Do we need to talk faster? Just so much noticing ourselves and others. It's all, again, comes down to self-awareness, doesn't it?
It all does. It all does. I mean, it's emotional intelligence. And, I know a lot of it has, been, people don't really think about it as much, but it's all about that. It's all about the awareness. It's all about the ability to engage with other people.
Yeah. Oh, so question for you.
Yeah.
When you know there's an energy mismatch, like you notice, like you walk in and the crowd or the group needs more than we can give in that moment, or we want to give in that moment. What are some ways, let's say as an example, what are some ways that you adjust, that you notice and adjust?
When we need to amp it up a little bit?
Yeah. Let's say you're going into that 6:00 meeting and you really just want coffee.
Well, I have the coffee before then, because I know. But that's part of the awareness, right? It's okay. I know I'm going to have low energy. So what do I need to do to amp it up a little bit? So I know I need to get up earlier. I know I need to have my coffee. I know I need to take a shower, get myself all, ready and prepared so that I can go in there. But if it's not that 6 a.m. and I'm just having a really bad day, or I was stuck in traffic, going and I was stuck in traffic, it's having that ability to say, you're doing this for these people for this reason, and they're going to need all that you can give.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, it's that self-awareness. It's that preparation of saying, okay, I'm going to take a couple of breaths. I'm going to maybe walk around the room a little bit. I'm going to get there early. I mean, we do that all the time as trainers.
Yeah.
So, because it is being on stage, and that's why I love it so much. But it, getting there, maybe an hour earlier, if it's going to be, tough. It's walking around, being familiar with the room, and getting yourself, what I'll say, psyched up. You can do this, having that pep talk. So that's part of, amping it up.
Yeah.
What thoughts do you have on that?
Oh, no, I love all that. Rituals, right? Getting ready, doing different things to help us prepare. I also love that you said we're on stage, because whether it is an audience of one in a meeting or many, right? I almost like pretend that I'm becoming someone else. Like I'm on stage, I'm in character, I'm going to be in the character that these people need. It's still authentically me, right? But it's the character that those people need for that meeting, that discussion. And then, of course, afterward, we're talking in our last episode, building in recovery time. Because I knew I had to go above and beyond that I could give for that. So I build in some recovery time after to recoup my energy.
Yeah. And then on the other side of it is, if you're giving out too much energy for people, it's reading them. Are they sitting back? Are they folding their arms? Are they, doing something that, you're not quite landing. I've actually had situations where somebody would ask a question, let's say in class, and I would provide my answer. And they go, they'd nod their head. But they're nodding their head in such a way that I know that didn't land. And so I've actually gotten to the point where I've said, you're not convinced.
Yep.
What else can I do? Or what else can I say that might help better answer your question?
Yeah.
So it's reading other people's energy, not only your own, but reading everybody else's.
Yeah. And adjusting, right, to match. Yeah. The other thing I would add to that, if we have done what we can, right, sometimes I will tamper down my energy if I'm woo and they're not, right? So just talking a little bit lower, a little bit slower, being a little more calm. But the other thing I like to think about is sometimes we've done everything that we can and there is just a mismatch of energy, right? So I've come down as much as I can to meet that energy, but they're not coming up at all, if that makes sense. And that's okay, right? So I've adapted the best way that I can to connect with this person or these people. And sometimes we're just not going to meet in the middle. Sometimes I will be a little bit too much or too smiley or too laughy for someone. And that's okay.
And you're right. And that's part of being okay with yourself.
Yes.
Right? It's part of being, because you said something earlier about doing it, playing the part that you need to play. And as opposed to theater where you do become another person that's not yourself. Yeah. You still need to show up as yourself.
Yes.
It's just that you are matching the energy to other people. And if it's not matching, if we're not coming up in the middle, it's okay because I still want to be me.
Yeah. Yeah. Authentically me. And I did my best to adapt to connect in an authentic way. And it didn't match. And that's okay. Yep. Right. Either finding an environment that I do better match in, which if you find yourself continually mismatched, and or, thinking about different ways that you can be in that situation.
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay. I know we've covered a lot. What final closing thoughts or reflection or anything would you like to offer our listeners?
Yeah. So I think, and this really dovetails on what you said, is that energy awareness in our communication is really about noticing the emotional impact of our delivery.
Yeah.
Right. How is it landing? How I'm feeling, is that being projected onto somebody else? You should feel that way because I feel this way, or that. So I think that that's really important. When I think about the story that I told, that's part of asking ourselves, how is this landing emotionally for the person and not necessarily logically for the person?
Yeah.
Did I take into account that this person has all these other things going on? Am I delegating by just kind of throwing something at somebody, or am I delegating because this is an opportunity and that I'm giving you support? Yeah. And we're going to get through it together. And I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for progress. So I think those are some good lessons that we can learn by being aware of our energy.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. This has been a great conversation.
I love it.
Yay. Until next time, thank you for joining us, folks.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights to enhance your journey as a human being. Remember, practice makes progress. Keep honing those essential skills, and until next time, keep being the best version of yourself. For more resources, visit eanestraining.com.